Do you have tight hips? That is no surprise. Lots of people do. I feel like as we get older, we just don't move our hips as much as we should to maintain good flexibility. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 great stretches to loosen up your hips to give you more flexibility, more range of motion, and most importantly, less pain. And make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to share with you my favorite stretch. And here's a hint, it's an animal turn stretch that's really going to do a great job of loosening things up for you. All right, the hips are really important to everything that we do in life. Sitting, standing, walking, running. We use them all day long, and none of us ever take time to give them the TLC that they deserve. The first stretch exercise we're going to do is going to require you to lie down on your stomach, and it's called the Windshield Wiper. So you can do this from a floor, from your bed, whatever feels comfortable. You can sit up like this on your elbows, or you can just be really relaxed and lie flat down. In this position, all you're going to do is bend your knees up to about 90 degrees, and you're going to gently drop both of your feet to one side of your body. The key here is to not let your hips and your trunk roll up off the floor. So you're creating a stretch by maintaining your hips as close to the floor as possible and dropping the legs to one side of the body. And then you're going to return the legs to the center and drop them to the opposite side of the body. In this position, you will start to feel if there's restrictions from one side to the other. For example, one leg is going closer to the floor than the opposite leg. And you just want to keep pressing the envelope a bit and pushing in both directions. Sometimes you can provide a little bit of overpressure by using one foot to push the other leg down, if that helps you at all. You can stay here for up to 5 minutes if it feels good, or you can just do maybe 10 or 15 repetitions, holding at the end of the range for maybe 10 seconds or so. If you try this once or twice a day, you'll find that you get better range of motion into internal and external rotation of those hips. Once you've given that one a go, you're going to flip over and sit up on your butt and do another exercise / stretch that I like to call 90-90. And I get in position where you're sitting. Your hands are behind you just for balance and support. Both knees are bent and your feet are flat on the floor. I like to get my feet just a little wider than hip width. If you're on an exercise mat, maybe to the edges of both sides of the mat. And then what you're going to do here is, again, drop your knees toward the floor. Don't let the hip lift up. Stay nice in contact with the floor, dropping the legs to one side. You should feel a nice stretch on either both or at least one of your legs in this posture. And then you're going to switch and go in the opposite direction. You're going to do this one very similar to the windshield wiper, going back and forth slowly, holding in the end range position for up to 5 or 10 seconds, and then repeating. And again, in this posture, you can really see if there's a difference between one leg going closer to the floor as opposed to the other one having more difficulty. And that'll give you some good feedback so you know which way to focus on more. Try this again, maybe 10 to 15 repetitions or up to a few minutes. So you can do this while you're watching TV and hanging out at home. But this stretch is guaranteed to open up the hips and give you a little bit more range of motion in your internal and external rotators, which are often the big cause of the tightness in the hips. All right, once you've done that one, it's time for you to try my favorite animal turned stretch. Can you guess what it is? It's called a frog. I love a frog. Get into a nice position, starting on your hands and your knees. And I like to turn sideways on my mat because I like cushioning under the knees just to protect your kneecaps. What you're going to do from this position is start to gently open the knees further apart. And then the true distinction with frog is to open the feet out to the side, following the legs. So as soon as you get to a position where you feel like, oh, there is a stretch in my inner thighs, you can rest down on your forearms and focus on deep breaths and possibly spreading the knees even wider. So we're in this frog position. It could be a little uncomfortable. If it is, I encourage you to come back up to your hands and bring the knees closer together. But if you feel a good stretch here and it's not hurting you, remain in this position. Relax your shoulders, take some nice deep breaths, and focus on seeing if your knees get any farther apart, if they get any wider, or you're making more contact with your pelvis and the floor, and that is the sign of a really good stretch. This particular exercise or stretch is stretching out the muscles of your inner thighs or your hip adductors, and it's a really important one to improve the range of motion and flexibility through your hips. You can sit here for 30, 45 seconds, even a minute if you're not feeling any pain. And then what you want to do to carefully get out of this is raise back up to your arms and gently bring one leg in, followed by the other. And then sit back on your heels and take a nice deep breath. These are really great stretches and exercises to incorporate into your daily or weekly routine to loosen up your hips and give you more freedom and range of motion so that you feel less discomfort and tightness. Give it a try. Let us know how it goes. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos on stretching out your hips, check out this video over here. And if you want more exercises and stretches for your entire body, the WeShape program has a full catalog of movements and exercises to help you be more flexible. Click the link below to try our app for free.